Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Bone Podcast, where we discuss all things crypto market. That includes the majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, meme coins, and of course, NFTs. Today, we're going to discuss some major macro indicators that were dropped this morning and causing turmoil amidst the markets. We're going to talk about the red hot meme coin landscape right now as we see a number of runners, including Altcoin getting to 9 figures. And we're going to talk about a potential token launch coming out of Trump Social. I'm joined today by Choose Rich, Nick, Kicks, and Signal. Signal, how you feeling today? You're looking great. What you up to?
Thanks, Ray. I feel good, man. I feel good. But the reason why I look good, I'll explain, okay? So this is what happens when you think, I'm going to go away for the weekend and have a really nice weekend out in nature. So off I went to this like farm hotel. It's going to be like this fancy farm hotel. And I got food poisoning on the first night that I ate in that restaurant. Obviously, we all know what happens when you get food poisoning, but it got worse because there was something wrong with the tap water. I know it's going to sound ridiculous, but I have a theory that when you have food poisoning, your body does not treat all water as the same. So Evian is not the same as like Vitel or whatever the American brand of bottled water is. So I'm drinking like the water that they provided in the hotel, and it's making me worse. So I asked the hotel, do you have any other branded water? And they're like, no, we've only got that or the tap water. So I've got this food poisoning. I keep drinking. I keep getting worse. I just realized, Jesus Christ, I can't drink this water, and I don't have the energy to go out of my hotel room to go get fresh water. So in the end, I basically dehydrated my body for 48 hours. I kid you not, by the time I got home on Sunday, I was delirious. I literally had not drunk anything. My lips were like completely cracked with the dry mouth and the dizziness. I was like trying to get up into the lift just to like get to my bed. And then as soon as I got home and started drinking my water, guess what? Lo and behold, slowly started to get better. So bad news, the food poisoning, but I got good news. There's always a silver lining to everything. So this was just some fancy
like a third world country.
No, everything outside of America is not the third world, and it's not the emerging world either. So just to finish my story, the silver lining to this, I hit my summer body goal. I'm already down to the weight I want to be thanks to losing 10 pounds in 2 days.
Nick, what are you doing over there, Nick?
He's moisturizing.
Ray doesn't know about that.
I don't. I think moisturizing is a scam. I think it leads to needing more moisturization. So you kind of like, it's like a self-replicating cycle where like they go, okay, here, put some moisture.
Well, aren't you privileged not to have eczema, Ray?
Yeah, I guess so.
You probably also drink great water.
Yeah, I do drink great water. Filtered only. All the microplastics. You know, everything there. Nick, how you feeling today? How you making
Well,
out?
I was better before you're making fun of me for putting lotion on my legs.
It was just a weird thing to be doing mid-show. You're just like lotioning.
I was in the corner, okay? Then you highlight me. You take me out there to like shine a light. Signal was doing great talking. What? I wanted to show up on time. This is one of the things that I end up doing before I come on the show, okay?
Nick, I appreciate you as a moisturized man because women know that you guys, when you're in our bathrooms, I know you use our products. I know you do. You always like dip your fingers in our creams.
This is literally eczema related lotion. It's not great, but it's been helping.
You getting face eczema now?
What?
You getting face eczema?
Face
eczema.
No.
Oh, okay, cool.
I apologize, Nick. I didn't mean to call it your health issue, and I'm sorry for starting off on the.
You made fun of me, but Bork Lord is the most empathetic person around here. Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, that was expected based on his username.
Kicks, how you feeling? How you been?
Phenomenal, dude. I'm just like top of the game right now.
Did you short Walmart there?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah.
What was the play here? I missed this.
He texted me and said, "What do you think about shorting Walmart?" And I was like, I don't like it as the #1 proxy to the trade war, basically. This is a trade war proxy and hedge. And I don't think it's bad. I just said I don't think it's the most direct thing. Did you see that shipping index that I sent you?
Yes.
You didn't respond with any update on the ultimate alpha, which I delivered to Kicks. By the way, my Pinterest call was doing great for a moment there, and now like it's down
Is that a long-
4.8% overnight. Although I think I'm still up, but what the
Every,
hell?
everything's down right now. We had bad macro data, but we'll cover
Yeah.
that in the weather report. Yeah.
Yeah, but Walmart's only down 0.8% in pre-market trading, whereas Pinterest is down 4.83. I think because people are viewing it as a corollary to Snapchat, which came in with earnings but wasn't able to provide guidance, and it's down 16% right now in pre-market trading.
Interesting. It does seem a bit odd to have them correlated.
Well, they're the little brother of the big social media titans of companies like Meta.
Gotcha.
Right now, Meta is down 2.44% in pre-market trading. This is all literally off of what I can tell Pinterest earnings. Sorry, Snapchat earnings.
Yeah, I guess the things that are underperforming are the things tied to that.
Look, I think I'm gonna stick on this trade. Someone said, "Do you have elevated eosinophils?" So here's what the deal is. I'm just gonna wrap this up on all of the health related things. I've spent $3,500 on blood tests. Yesterday, I went and got the first set of blood tests. Went in there, 13, 14, 15 vials. Next week is an insane quantity of vials. The number of tests that I'm getting puts everybody to shame. I mean, I'm testing for everything, allergens, like indoor, outdoor. I'm testing for food allergies. I'm getting my metabolic levels tested. I'm getting thyroid levels tested.
Do you have inflamed high liver markers?
Excuse me? High liver markers?
High liver markers.
Liver.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things being tested. I went to
What are you testing for? What are you trying to figure out?
Where this eczema came from, because it literally just came on all of a sudden. I don't have, usually it's genetic. No one else in my family has eczema. And I have one of two conclusions. Or
COVID
three,
vaccine.
I guess. COVID vaccine, and or some other external factor which showed up all of a sudden.
100% the COVID vaccine. I mean, I had a friend that got really bad rosacea all over their face, and I found them lice cream has ivermectin in it. They rubbed it all over their face, and it's been in remission for over a year. But that's not going to fix your eczema. But it's all tied to your liver, so you gotta clean out that liver. But
have you do? Go on, Ray. You do your first medieval solution, and I'll do my medieval solution. Have you
One
tried?
thing that might work. I mean, I think diet could play a big part in things like this. Have you?
I've been doing fasting,
an elimination diet.
Well, I'm getting to a level where I'm gonna have to do that, but I've been borderline not even eating. I'm in starvation mode right now. I'm on the no water fast, and I'm trying to do that for 1 week. We're gonna see. But rumors are you die. But that would solve things.
Look up elimination diets. I mean, it's essentially like you start with
what an elimination diet is, and if I'm going to do it, then I'm going to get involved with the doctor at that point. Where but blood tests, step one.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was a COVID vaccine.
Stool tests, another thing. But how soon after the vaccine did that happen?
For her, it was like 3 months, and thyroid flare up as well, thyroid nodule. Yeah, but that was just from COVID, not the vaccine. So I mean, just when the Chinese are manufacturing gain of function things, it can cause lots of problems. But you can get through it. There's plenty of things, but I would be focused on. There's lots of people out there talking about how to get the stuff that's causing COVID related chronic diseases.
My dad literally does studies on this.
Yeah, like how to get that out of your system. There's some doctors that have been working on that stuff, but that's what I would focus on, because I would say very high confidence that's the cause.
Orklord saying stress can cause flare-ups. Have you worked on some meditation, maybe, Nick? Maybe a little like Zen.
If you come at me with meditation, dude, I'm going to fucking blow a gasket.
I mean, you're talking to the eczema expert. I had it so bad that I would do this with my fingers in the middle of the night until the inside of my fingers were raw. Had it under my armpits. I couldn't shower.
Oh, I had some scratches that were pretty crazy while I was
Yeah.
sleeping. I didn't know I was doing it. My girlfriend literally punched me one night because I was moving around so much.
So bad. Yeah, that's bad. Dude, you're talking to a person that had to deal with that. It's really
beat
bad.
her.
That's
and
fine.
It became, we now have like physical altercations. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but here, I mean, I'm telling you, here's like the real thing. What eczema is doing is your body is overloaded on trying to get toxins out of your blood. Your liver's overloaded. And so your body's sending it to your extremities, and then you're pushing it out through your pores. I would definitely be doing the sauna once a day. You want to be sweating heavily once a day. And then work on ways to reduce your liver stress trying to get rid of the toxins.
Yeah, which I mean, so my medieval plan was pretty much the same as Ray's. I was going to say do intermittent fasting like 18 hours consistently. That's number one. Number
I do
two,
that.
move to a plant-based diet for like a couple of weeks. And number three, I know someone who had a really bad eczema and they had this amazing product made of seaweed. I'll find it for you, Nick. And you basically have a bath with this powder and it like gone instantly.
That's awesome.
So I'll find you the link for it.
All right.
We provided everyone with every angle of curing eczema this morning. We've done a great value and service to our listeners here. That being said, we do want to talk about.
I hadn't even investigated it after living with this for a year. I hadn't even looked into it, but I'm always excited to hear what.
That being said, Signal, whenever you're ready, let's kick it off with the weather report and jump into the show.
Yeah, okay, then let's get into this on Wednesday, April 30th. Looking at that crypto roundup, the majors is pulling back, but they're still beautiful. You got Bitcoin at 94.5K, Ethereum back under 1,800, and Solana just under 150. Over the past 24 hours, top three stories. Well, firstly, news broke that Truth Social is exploring the launch of a utility token to be used for subscription costs and other services. The token would be part of a rewards program and would live in the Truth digital wallet and could be used to pay for the Truth subscriptions and other products and services. Next up, Raydium. They've added an additional 50,000 Ray tokens worth $140,000 to their Launch Lab rewards pool. Launch Labs launch oh, thanks, Ray. Launch Labs launch Hosiko token around over to 40 million market cap overnight. And then finally, key macro data was released this morning. We saw that downtrend. April's private employment record showed a rise of 62,000 jobs, well below the 150,000 estimate. Q1 GDP fell 0.3%, missing estimates that would gain 0.3%. And the equities pre-market is down across the board, led by the NASDAQ down almost 2%. That is all for the weather report. Beautiful alliteration. Back to you in the studio.
Excellent weather report as always, despite the tongue twisters and a small repeat there that I didn't clean up. Signal. We're seeing a lot of action right now in terms of equities like falling. NASDAQ was leading the charge, down over 2% now pre-market. We saw Q1 GDP miss. I think this is the biggest driving factor of the pullback. That this was released about 30 minutes ago, 45 minutes ago. Up until that point, the futures were down maybe 0.5%. So we've seen like a pretty big pullback on the GDP news. NASDAQ leading probably due to what Nick was saying with the Snapchat earnings. Crypto, however, it's not falling quite as hard.
Nope.
Which is nice. It's nice to see that, we're holding.
I'm in the safe asset class.
Yeah. So
you're in the flight to quality.
Decoupling. Like it would be nice to see more and more of this decoupling. I mean, we did see like a bit of a dip here over the last hour since GDP, but it hasn't fallen as hard as equities have in terms of like percentage base.
Bitcoin's basically a stable coin right now. I was discussing this the other day and saying this makes me really want to add in all like, I don't know, the rest of all my cash. Kicks is in the meantime shorting Walmart, and I do
Monster Energy drink.
They're public.
Yeah.
Why Monster Energy drink? What's the Chinese connection there?
Nothing. I just think that it's a $60 billion company at a 40 PE ratio.
Okay.
And it's getting
It's
a lot
like-
of competition from like new energy drink brands like Alani, which just sold to Celsius for $1.4 billion.
You always have these like random, like this isn't like, it's like, yeah, my crypto analyst is telling me to short Monster Energy drink. Like, what? what? What is? You you had those like stock picks last season. I forget what it was from the.
They weren't great, man. We don't need to talk about, we don't need to talk about them too much. The outdoor company, whatever that was, the kayak pieces, didn't
Are
work
these
out
your
great.
ideas or Sauna Guy's ideas?
These are all mine, so they're not
Okay,
as good
cool.
as Sana
Just
Guy.
to know.
Yeah,
Just
no,
to know.
he had great ones. All of his ones have pretty much hit. But no, I basically I read. I'm a little late to the party, but I read Ray Dalio's been saying like repeating the same thing he's been saying for the past couple of months, and I really like deep dive into what he was saying, which is really interesting. Essentially, what Ray Dalio is saying is that like regardless of the tariffs, like what is happening right now is like a reshaking of the global monetary system. And long story short, I'm not getting into the meat of it, but the U.S. can no longer sustain exporting dollars and importing cheap consumer goods. And instead, what you're probably going to see in the new regime going forward is you're going to see a weakening U.S. dollar. And so I started researching what a weakening U.S. dollar, would do. Essentially, long story short, it makes exporting companies better. It makes importing companies worse. Hence my short on Walmart. Although, fun fact about Walmart, 66% of Walmart's US-based stuff comes from the US, but we don't know how much of that is like, just repackaged stuff internationally. But like the best stuff, like the best exporting companies, I was like, okay, what are like the top 10 companies that, export goods? Dude, fucking Warren Buffett's little motherfucking ass. This dude is so early to these things. He was thinking about this shit before Ray Dalio. And one of the top exports, right, for the United States is LNG, right? And the top company that does that is Cheniere Energy. And I'm pretty sure, maybe I'm wrong, fucking Warren
Is that
Buffett.
liquefied natural gas?
Yeah, Warren Buffett bought this shit like 2-3 years ago. It's up like 400%. So this dude was just way ahead of the curve. So I'm late to the party. So I've been looking at catch up trades.
I don't know about the catch up trade.
Walmart's also very recession proof. So not a great expression of a short. I just think that they're up 100% in a year. And they're up 100% in a year because they're saying their e-commerce numbers are phenomenal. Right? And I know the truth behind why their e-commerce numbers are phenomenal. They're putting their grocery delivery into e-commerce. And there's a bunch of people doing grocery delivery from Walmart right now, and they offered a ton of deals. My wife even took one of their deals, which it was, free delivery for like 6 months or something like that. So everyone's thinking, oh, they're beating Amazon its own game. They're really doing it with like grocery delivery. So I think they got a little excited. Here, pull this shit up. Put some Bollinger Bands on this shit, and then pull it up on the 3-month.
Real quick, is this setting up a Head and Shoulders here? Is this setting up a classic Head and Shoulders pattern?
Look at this fucking shit, dude. And then put the Bollinger Bands on.
Throw the Bollinger on there, Ray.
Bollinger Throne.
Woo! Look at this fucking shit, dude.
Holy shit. Look at that fucking shit.
Look at that shit just busting out of those bands, dude.
Yeah, for anyone listening, this thing is busting out of bands more so than an elephant in tights.
That was good.
That's what we're looking at right now. If you're just listening on,
so I'm just looking for a pullback to 70, and I'm doing quite fine.
I'm gonna be honest.
It already went to 80 a couple of weeks ago.
I like it.
I think this is a classic bear market trap right here.
On the weekly, it looks like it's already kind of pulled
right back up. I pretty much got it shorted at the top with this rally back up, so I'm happy.
Very interesting. And so are you just doing a full-on short or using options?
Options, $85 puts expiring December of this year, January of next year. So I got time.
What's the VIX at right now?
No clue.
Well, that definitely has your volatility premium is it's pretty high.
VIX is above moving average.
Well, if you get a big wick down, your options may play out here.
Yeah, everything that you're doing in this market, whatever you're buying outside of like super degen stuff like meme coins, everything that you're buying, you're basically, it's all one trade. And the one trade is whether you think this trade war resolves in the short term or not.
Okay.
That's what I think impacts everything. And it's really who blinks first, US or China, or if either of them blink in the next 1 to 3 months. What I do know is on both sides of the equation, like the damage is about to really set in. Like, you know, e-commerce companies, people that are importing the United States are getting blown out right now, like no cash, like going to go out of business. And in China, same exact thing. You have factories with employees on unpaid vacation, and the factories are just not producing anything.
Yeah.
It's a game of chicken, but who do you think can actually win?
Yeah, I mean, I think both get hurt. I don't think one really wins at this point. And what a lot of people are saying is that, like, even if like a deal's had, right? Like both people, it's like if like two countries, right, got into like a mini skirmish war, right? And then they're like, okay, hey, we're causing some damage here. Let's do a ceasefire, right? And do both of those countries be like, oh, we trust them, everything's good, we're going to move on? No, they're going to like go in an arms race, right? They're going to get ready for the next big conflict. So regardless of what happens, I think China and the US, even if a trade deal happens, both people are going to be like, okay, we need to like de-risk from each other.
Yeah, and you're kind of seeing that now, right? Because you've seen like the president of China going around to all the other Asian countries and having meetings with them to be like, hey, I know we haven't been best friends in the past, but we should partner up and think about what are going to be our future trading parameters, because this US move is affecting all of us. So yeah, okay, I get you. So for you, it's just like, even if the US wins in all of this, you're going back to your export theory, is that exporters good, importers bad. That's it.
Yeah. And then you're seeing like more like regional, you know, destabilization in some areas. So that like India and Pakistan are kind of like heating up some issues. India is now trying to counter China. You have people talking about a conflict with Iran. We already have a regional conflict, Ukraine and Russia. Like when the global kind of regime starts to fracture, right, you see these other things starting to pop up. I'm not trying to act like I'm some expert whatsoever. I'm just not convinced that in 30 days this gets resolved. And so I think that things could roll over again. And then I think when the real damage sets in and things start to roll over again, that's when both parties are way more willing to come to the table and resolve something. So I'm not saying we're going to go into Great Depression and the world's going to implode. I just think that we bottomed out, things way oversold, and we've had an oversold rally. Because I told Ray before the show, I've been sucked into an oversold rally before. In August of 2022, I thought it was the bottom, right? And I bought a bunch of call options on stocks, and it fucking ripped to the moon. I thought it was a genius. And everything rolled over one more time, and the true bottom was in August, right? So like even in 2008, right, there was oversold rallies that ripped up and sucked people in, and then it rolled back over.
Sorry, what is an oversold rally? I don't know what that term is.
Yes, like an oversold rally means like everything got so oversold that prices rally off of it.
Got it. Is that a common term?
I don't know.
I got it. It made sense.
Isn't that called
you could call it short squeeze, you could call it whatever. It basically means the
dead cat
conditions
bounce.
haven't. Dead cat bounce. But yeah, whatever you want to call it. But
I mean, if two people had to go for a United States citizen test, they said oversold rally or dead cat bounce. Circle the right answer for what the market. I feel like they wouldn't know what a dead cat bounce is.
I
just saying.
think dead cat bounce is way more common.
I don't think that they're becoming American citizens.
Big
if they're
Schrodinger
circling that
guy.
one. Yeah.
The dead cat is both alive.
Relief rally. There we go. There's another one. Relief rally. Trader firm, he said. Relief rally.
Relief rally instills confidence that like we're going to continue to see upward price trajectory.
Yeah, but like what Risk said is like, yeah, people are greatly underestimating like the supply chain lag. Like that's like there's like, you know, shipping containers are not getting filled. There's like empty ships going and trying.
Relief rally is the default one I've gone and look at here. I went to Google Trends, and relief rally is definitively number one.
And you know the worst thing about what you're talking about kicks is the delay that the consumer feels, because today you're like ingesting and figuring out, but what happens to your pocket happens in 6 months. And I remember like we wanted to replace some windows, and I've done that once before in the past, probably like 7-8 years ago. And you know, windows are always going to be expensive, but you're like, man. And then did it after COVID. I was like, how much is it to replace windows? You're just like crying at the price. And you're like, you know what? I don't need a new window. I'll have holes in my current one. It's fine.
Yeah.
And it's because of the supply shock that happens that you don't realize that it happens 6 months later, and it happens to your pocket when you think everything is okay.
That's why like inflation hit in COVID like later, right? Like it didn't, we printed all that money and then you didn't see like inflation go bananas until 2022.
I think your mic has a little bit of vibration there, Signal. Just letting you know.
Does it? Okay, I think it's me leaning on my desk.
He's just messing with you because you picked oversold rally over dead cat bounce.
Whatever.
Markets opened up, small gap on the SPY, not terrible.
What are we trading here? Is anybody in any meme coins, or are we just looking at each other being like, meme coins? I don't know anything about that.
I've been trading them, and I was telling Kicks before the show, I'm feeling a bunch of FOMO. So we talked about House before. House crossed 100 million overnight before pulling back this morning with basically everything. This one's been kind of crazy to watch.
Big ass runner.
Yeah, 87 million now on House coin. Huge run up from 10 mil when Ansem mentioned it. It was sitting at like 20 to 30 for a while, and now it's just 3x from there. I don't know how far this can go. Like, is this the local top here? Who knows? But I was saying, like, we're getting to see more and more runners on the meme coin side. Another one to highlight we talked about in the weather report is Hosiko Cat, which is at 38 million now. This was launched on Raydium's launch lab. So it's interesting to see like some of these tokens doing well. We talked about Raydium having additional rewards. Like they're one of the few launch pads that's actually like rewarding users with like incentives. So I think we're going to see like winners from this. Like if you see like maybe some like Raydium launch meme coins like in the few millions, there's a good chance that we could see them pump a bit harder because like there's essentially incentives to both like create on the platform and to buy tokens that were launched there. So this one's basically been up only since launch, like continued momentum. 37 million now, got over 44 million for Hosiko. So one thing I want to kind of look at today is I want to look at on BullX, you can basically filter by Raydium only tokens. I want to play around with the Raydium tokens and kind of get some exposure for their rewards, as well as like mainly trying to just like profit off these tokens that people could potentially see running. As you can see,
on an
like,
adjacent note, Ray. Oh, go ahead. Please finish your thought. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, dude.
No, it's okay.
Oh
like
my
as you can
God.
see, like we looked at this earlier, like late last week, when Launch Lab like initially launched, and like there wasn't a ton, but now we're seeing like actual activity on the Launch Lab side. I'm looking at the right hand tab here, and we're seeing multiple tokens over 50K, over 100K, over 300K. In terms of the Raydium launch tokens, like obviously some of these are like very scammy in terms of charts, but we definitely are seeing more and more activity on the Raydium side. So I'm going to be paying attention to this. and potentially getting into some of these tokens. A, earn rewards, B, try to flip them into this kind of like Raydium Launch Labs liquidity that's happening. Kix, you can go ahead.
Did you guys hear about Slash playing around at all with the new Believe app, Believe crypto app?
No, what is that?
I'm not sure if it's Ben Pasternak's company, but I think it was Clout before. You guys like remember Clout? And then they've now like pivoted to like Believe app, which is kind of like you know, like the AI like Memecoin Launchpad kind of stuff that we were seeing like on Pump.Fun in November, right? And then like virtuals, right? It like Believe is like a basically like Memecoin platform, but like attached to projects. And I don't know if you guys remember, but like Nikita Bier, I may be butchering his name. He's like a really big like app guy. He recently announced that he like came on to Solana as an advisor. And like I think like he's like kind of backing this and been like talking about it and pushing it. But that's essentially like what it is. So like right now I think it's like sort of gated in terms of like who can launch projects on there. But I think it's something definitely to like keep tabs on.
Yeah, so the project is, there's something called Launchcoin on Believe, where you can reply to a tweet and tag them plus the name to turn it into a coin. So we're seeing people like launch coins here. This Pasternak coin has been rebranded to Launchcoin. It used to be called Pasternak. This thing traded during like internet capital markets all the way up over almost 80K when he first kind of announced this project. And then it was flat, going sub 1 million for like quite a bit here. We're looking at like 200K at some points. And then it ran on this announcement to like 7. And then Nikita Bier tweeted about it and it sent it to over 20 million. Nikita Bier since deleted the tweet, but essentially was saying like talking about like the PE ratio of the company or something. So like that kind of sent it. So I did see that. I didn't realize it was called Believe. I just like was looking at it as Pasternak/launch. I haven't dove too far into it outside of just like the price action and the general narrative. So this is interesting.
So like you can buy Launchcoin on Believe. I think it's like the number one like Launchcoin on there, but there's like another coin called Dupecoin and it says about it's luxury furniture at an affordable price. There's like AI stuff being launched there. But they say that these are like meme coins for entertainment purposes only. And then they say that like this like funds the projects. So like the creators are getting like some sort of like, you know, trading fee or something off of it to fund the projects. I think it's still maybe like a little bit early, but I think I wouldn't be surprised for there to be some one or multiple like big runners from this platform potentially. So I think it's something at the very least to like download the app and load a little bit of money on it, and then, you know, just have money on there that you can buy. But also, since these are like meme coins, you may not even have to use the app. Like you can probably just buy them on chain. But just something to like keep a eye on.
Yeah, interesting. I saw this dupe coin. This is a couple days ago. And people were saying basically it was just used as like a marketing push. I can't remember who tweeted it, but essentially someone said like dupe. They were curious about Dupe's numbers because I think they're like some sort of like e-commerce app. Like after this coin launch, they probably had more active users or more like new users than they ever had before just because they launched this token. It's kind of like, I guess, spawned a little bit with the Believe launch pad here, but this ran up to 5 mil the other day, up to almost 7 mil yesterday before falling back down to 2.4. I mean, these things like have tended to trend towards zero in terms of like quote unquote internet capital markets. Like these apps releasing coins that aren't really like supported, or they don't really understand Web3, or the utility just doesn't make sense. But we are seeing more of that now. It's kind of running back that like remember Vine and some of those other
Yeah,
tokens.
exactly. Like I think you'll get a lot of losers and you'll get like a lot of projects that like launch that, just like anything in life, that like launch things and they don't do it right, or they don't integrate it right, or they don't know how to do it right, and like the price goes down, and that's just the risk reward of what you're doing. But I'd keep tabs on it. I wouldn't be surprised if like, you know, they have these like influential people kind of backing it, that something interesting would maybe come out of there.
So you've been paying attention. Have you been doing any trading kicks, or have you been basically kind of just watching from the outside and making these equities plays?
Yeah, I'm still chilling for the most part. Doing a little longs, a little shorts. I'm up on my Ethereum, but I'm kind of thinking of just taking 5% gains on it right now on my recent Ethereum trade. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like that, there may be some more blood ahead and some better opportunities. So once again, I still have a lot of Bitcoin. I have some Solana. I have some ETH. I actually think Solana has more downside potential than ETH. But I've never been like a big short person. Like I more enjoy
I'm a short person.
I more enjoy like letting something bleed down and then like buying the bottom long is like kind of how I like prefer to do things. But yeah, I'm just trying to keep my feet chopping. So I'm looking at opportunities and equities and crypto, but I'm also not trying to like overdo things and just like mess myself up. I think confidence is super big in this game. So I don't want to like overtrade and try to chase things. So yeah, mostly, as boring as it is, mostly kind of just, like sitting on my hands.
Yeah. What about you, Sig? Have you been making any trades? Have you been following anything? What have you been looking at in the market?
So I deployed a lot of capital on that sell-off when Bitcoin went down to 76. So that was probably like, I want to say 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago now. And since then, I've just kind of been sitting on the sidelines. I don't like constantly deploying capital just to like be in the market all the time. I feel like right now I made my plays. They've all panned out really well. And now I'm just kind of like waiting. I'm just waiting for the prices to for the market to come to me. And when I feel like it's the right time, I'm going to get in something. But I haven't seen anything particularly juicy right now that's making me want to, I was listening to Greeny yesterday. He did such a good show. And and he was saying as well, wait for the market to come to you. And that's really how I feel it is. I've also been accumulating a lot of the majors that I've wanted for ages now. So I don't have FOMO or anything when Bitcoin is at 93. I'm just going to continue DCAing. But I don't feel like I would rather miss the first uptick and get in when things are actually vibrant in there than rather have a fake out and get in and then get actually smacked in the face and then just lose all my money. So I don't deploy if I don't feel like I need to deploy.
Yeah, that makes sense. One thing that Greeny was talking about yesterday was that a number of tokens, and I'm going to pull up the VVV chart here, or the virtuals chart here. A lot of AI tokens and a lot of Memecoin tokens have kind of had this pattern recently where you had your blow off tops in late 24 for AI coins, early 25 for other meme coins. So either one of these two, and then we've basically seen a slow bleed out and then a rounded bottom. And then over the last week, we've seen this kind of action on a lot of different meme coins, whether it's Fartcoin, VVV, Trump, etc. Over the last 7 days, we've seen this kind of bounce off the bottoms. He was looking for basically retracement back down to these fib levels. So if virtuals gets back down in the 450 range, he was like, okay, we'll buy here, we'll get a cup and handle, and we're gonna send again. I think this lines up pretty well with what Kix is saying. Okay, maybe we hit this local top. Anyone who's been feeling or is currently feeling FOMO at these levels, maybe you hang off for a week and you see what's happening here at these levels, and you get that lower entry before another bounce. Because a lot of tokens have basically had this very short parabolic run over the last week. Essentially virtuals 370 mil to almost $1 billion in a week's time. So there could be a pullback here. If you're feeling FOMO, you're going to get a better entry potentially, waiting for these things to pull back.
Yeah, it pretty much, the virtuals run went exactly to its moving average, which was at 150, and pinged off that.
Ping pong.
So, Ray, from your side, does that make you want to deploy? So you're saying wait a week and you could potentially see that pullback. Does that make you want to deploy into new memes or old ones?
I would be looking to deploy into things that have strength that I believe in, that could run on the back of, Fartcoin, virtual, Vader, Cookie on the AI side I like a lot. Mog, maybe. Mog has this similar dead cat kind of bounce here. Pepe, like majors and like things that I have a little bit of confidence in. Maybe SPX would be interesting here too. This is
MLG.
strength. Not MLG.
Kidding.
Pengu is another good one. Pengu is also on like this similar like trajectory that we've seen. So like maybe just getting like 3 or 4 of these, doing like a little bit of a spray on those if they get back down to levels that we kind of like saw earlier a week or 2 ago. I'm gonna pull up Pengu right now, take a look what's going on here. Dex screen has been very, very slow for me over the last week.
I also think like something I'm trying to get better at is realizing and like recognizing what periods of time you have opportunities to make a lot of money, right? And the older you get, the easier it is to wait. But like, for example, I look at like 2023, October, November, I got into gaming coins like Prime and Ronin. It did very well, right? And then November, December 2024 did very well off of AI coins, and then January Trump, right? So like I think that Q4 there's always a lot of fun stuff happening, and I want to be ready in Q4 with like a fresh mind and, you know, not burn out and excited to crush it and trying to catch the trends early there. Although there's been things that happen that are very exciting, like during the summer, like summer 2021 was NFTs, right? Summer 2020 was DeFi summer, right? So there's always like different opportunities that like present themselves. But I think like one of the hardest things in the game is to just be patient and like, you know, try to wait when to swim when the water's, you know, warm, not freezing cold. So it's going to be boring, but I'm trying not to do what I do, which is where I chase and I blow money and I tilt myself, and then I'm not ready or optimistic when the inevitable trend presents itself.
I definitely think that there could still be some interesting action for me. Like the summer month, like I don't know if anyone else feels like this. June, July, August goes by like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You're just like,
Yeah.
like where did summer go? And like you're saying, it doesn't mean that interesting stuff won't happen. There was what was the app that we were all on? Oh God, the name's completely slipped my mind. Was it last year or the year before? Friendtech, yeah. So and that was
summer 2023.
That was 23, exactly. So like that was peak summer. So I think that kind of stuff could still happen. And talking to friends who work on Wall Street, like it's still extremely active for them. They're not sort of like winding down until more towards August, where it's like less butts in seats. So I still think we could see a lot play out both on the macro side, geopolitically. So there still could be enough volatility to make swing trades with things like either shorting equities or with the majors. But I'm kind of going to sit on my hands a little bit and just wait for the market to come to me.
Yep, I agree. Nick, have you been doing much trading or paying attention to the market lately? Have you been doing anything in terms of crypto, or are you basically been building behind the scenes? What's been your experience over the last week or two?
Well, I was moving into my place, which I will be honest has been stressful as hell, but I'm getting very close. These are the remaining, you know, you can see a little bit of stuff, but we're almost there. We're almost to the finish line. So that's one of the things that I've been focused on. I also been building this app. So I've been doing coding. That's been the other thing. On the trading front, I mean, I've been looking at these different coins. I don't do well hopping in and out. You know, as Kick says, chopping the feet.
You're a buy and hold guy. You get into Solana at $50 with size, and you do very well. You buy Bored Apes at 1 ETH, do very well.
Well, 0.1, yeah. I'm not trying to correct you there, but yeah, maybe even less than 0.1, yeah. I mean, but you know, Neither here nor there.
Get giant framed photos of them, put them up behind you to celebrate.
Yeah, I mean, I need to. I got to figure out what I'm gonna do. Maybe I get a new painting. But regardless, I think that I do look at these other. I like the virtuals. I want to add AI tokens. But I like this pullback approach that's being discussed. And yeah, I mean, we discussed it the other day. The market's showing its cards, and I like that. Like during the pullback is when you can see sources of strength. Solana's been strong. Bitcoin has been insanely resilient. I think Bitcoin is particular. This is oh my God, I installed one of my skateboards upside down that I put on the wall. I just
Were you looking at the ceiling?
Yeah,
You're looking like way up.
It's right up there. Yeah, it is. I don't know if I can actually show.
Oh, we're gonna get a little look inside the
This is
part.
my
So Nick,
it's up there.
you essentially just see your hand. It looks like your camera froze as soon as you touched it. This is kind of like a little shot here.
What the hell?
Just Nick's hand.
What the hell? Oh man, how did I? That's really weird because it's looking completely fine on my. I'm gonna have to reload this. I was getting excited to discuss the actual stuff, and then the fucking ADHD kicked in.
Yeah, you're like, oh let's talk about Bitcoin. Okay, let me grab my camera and show you the wall real quick.
Oh no, everything's broken. Damn it! All right, I'll be right back.
All right, we'll see Nick here in a second. He's going to talk some Bitcoin. Until then, I'm just going to do a little segue here. I'm going to talk about all the major news stories. We're going to do a little quick hitter from the news, the newsletter. So if you're not subscribed, go to dailybones.com. You get this every morning to your inbox, along with all relevant links. Vitalik outlined personal goals as well as Ethereum Foundation goals for 2025. Ukraine is getting ready to sign a resource deal with the U.S., but tensions are escalating between India and Pakistan, with reports that there could be an attack in the next 24 to 48 hours.
From India.
Yeah, that's interesting,
dude. That's the battle of the ages right there, man. India, Pakistan. Who's gonna win? They usually duke it out in cricket. But here we go. They're coming after it with actual weaponry. Yeah, that was a, quote, terrorist attack, but was Pakistan the country behind it? Is that what happened?
I don't know. I don't know exactly what happened.
You didn't see that video of the guy? I
didn't.
There's a video of a guy on a zip line going across a open field. It seems reminiscent of the Israeli terrorist attack in the way that it was done. It was at some sort of festival, and basically a bunch of people got absolutely got slaughtered, basically. And the guy on the zip line is going over the attack. So he's like literally just flying down as people are being shot and killed. I don't know the full details of what was going on there, but yeah.
That's pretty crazy. We did get detoured there. I was running through quick hitters, but before that, you wanted to talk Bitcoin. And
no, the only thing I wanted to say is all my news feed. By the way, my app is sending a flood of push notifications right now because it got backlogged. So there's all sorts of issues there. But the thing that I think is interesting is sort of this like global rush to Bitcoin is very interesting. And I think potentially underappreciated in this space. Yeah, we saw it. It was Arizona just passed legislatively. Apparently it's going to get vetoed. But there was it was passed
through the Senate. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. It's a Democratic governor in Arizona who has to sign it, but it passed like 40-something to 20-something in the Senate. The first Bitcoin reserve bill to pass the Senate in the U.S.
Wow.
So we'll see what happens there. But yes, it could be vetoed. And I don't know what their requirement is to overturn in Arizona. In terms of Bitcoin, like adoption, and Greeny was talking about this yesterday, is like Bitcoin adoption's never been higher. We're seeing ETFs, we're seeing states, we're seeing sovereign nations, sovereign wealth funds, all aping into Bitcoin. And I kind of like threw the theory out there, like, yes, we're going to see this, but like the second wave could be what brings altcoin season back. Because I know we're all kind of like waiting to figure out like what's happening with altcoins. Like, I think like large number theory, small number theory, like with Bitcoin, everyone's gonna feel like they're late on Bitcoin. When you start seeing these other products come out, like Solana ETFs, XRP ETFs, etc., and then those becoming like available, more mainstream, that we then see that pressure kind of rotate from Bitcoin to altcoins. And I'd be really curious, and what I'm going to be monitoring is like looking at ETF flow comparison. So like, what are the flows going to Bitcoin versus these other ETFs? And if you do see a shift where Bitcoin like starts seeing slower flows or outflows and these other ETFs start seeing inflows, that could be what causes an eventual like altcoin run.
We'll have to wait and see. I mean, there's also a rush going towards Solana right now. Honestly, I think institutionally, there's also a rush going to Solana at this moment in time. We see it in the market with some of these Solana treasury businesses. There was a discussion. I don't want to reveal my sources here, but needless to say, inside some of these larger companies, there's conversations like about when you look at stablecoin usage, for example, a lot of that is transitioning over to Solana instead of like something like Ethereum where the gas fees are higher. And so I think that a lot of the usage is there that's driving adoption between Solana and Phantom Wallet. Literally just that is driving just an immense amount of adoption. And as that goes, we're going to see additional adoption there. So,
and another thing, Ray, sorry, you had me thinking. I think like when people talk about altcoin season, I think the way it's going to look now is going to be vastly different to what it looks like at the previous cycle, because the previous cycle you saw all alts rally, and sort of like green everywhere. I think now, because we have this institutional influence, you're going to have most of the money obviously going to Bitcoin. You're going to have the institutions who are pushing to retail where that money should go. So they're going to continue to tell them to be putting it in Bitcoin as the first place. And then after that, it really is like regulatory wise, which alts will pass and actually get legislated. And I think that number is, I don't know, what is that? 5 tokens, 6 tokens. So like alt season might only be good for maybe between 6 to 10 tokens. I'm just giving a number there. I'm just saying it's going to be a lot less than what it was in the previous cycle. So I think even when people talk about alt season, it's not the same alt season that we saw before. I think it's going to look completely different this time because it's being influenced by the institutions. And for them, it's which tokens are getting green flagged by legislation. And
look
that's
at
just
this
something that I think about as well.
Look at this comment from Alfalfa. Guess that rush is why Sol is down more than ETH on the day. Alfalfa's a loser.
What's Kashmir coming after me? Ray is the backup dancer / mod. I don't even know what this means. I think I said I was gonna take Kamala in a bet, or like put a Kamala bet in, and ever since then Kashmir has been just like my mortal enemy number one.
And Alfalfa is using like the 1 minute candle to measure political, global, macro circumstances. Guy's an idiot.
ETH
Alfalfa, you're a loser.
4.1% for ETH, 4.4% for Solana. Holy cow. Where is that adoption now, Nick? What is going on?
XRP down 6.4%. That's rough, man. This is tough times out in the market. Bitcoin down only 1%. But remember, they also have the up-only technology.
Kashmir, the voice. My bad. I'm high. Classic. 9 a.m. Eastern time.
Just getting high first thing in the morning.
I'm I'm glad we can provide you some entertainment throughout your time there. We're coming up on an hour. Anything else that's interesting in the market that you guys are seeing? I can run through a couple more quick hitters. We got about halfway down this list before Nick interrupted last time. We'll see how far we get this time. DeepSeek released a new AI model on the math side. Cardone Capital, we talked about Bitcoin inflows. They're looking to acquire 1,000 Bitcoin. They manage $5 billion worth of assets. So another company looking out there, another fund out there looking to get some Bitcoin exposure. Miden spun out from Polygon. They raised $25 million for their own blockchain. So we're seeing some institutional capital come back in the form of VCs. UK revealed a draft of crypto laws to increase growth and protect investors. We talked about Loopscale got hacked yesterday on Solana. They recovered their hacked funds this morning. Base achieved stage 1 decentralization. So a big milestone for that blockchain in terms of an L2 getting closer to true decentralization. NASDAQ filed an application to have 21 shares Doge ETF listed and traded. So we'll see if that could get passed, and then we'll have some Doge ETFs in terms of altcoin flows. The Melania team removed $1 million worth of liquidity. So Hayden out there on the run, taking some cash with him.
Hayden in the mix, dude. If anyone has been like thriving in this bear market, it's been Hayden. Like that guy's just fucking thriving out here. Selling million, he like sold $9 million the other day. Just absolutely printing this guy. What? I kind of respect him at this point. Still not caught, despite an Interpol notice to arrest this guy. They can't even catch him. Hayden Davis. This guy may be one of the most epic. Everyone was like, "This guy's a dumbass." It came across as stupid. Still not in jail. Still not caught.
What's the this makes me think, what's the Mount Rushmore of like crypto scammers? You got like Suzu, you got banking.
You're just stealing a page. Hold on 1 second. You're stealing the Mount Rushmore from Luca.
No, what do you mean? Did he do something like that?
Yeah, Luca Netz is out there. He's like, my job is to cement my face on the Mount Rushmore of crypto, which is the biggest loser statement ever. Like, that's just like, what are we talking about, dude? Your ego requires you to be on the Mount, and everyone's like, yeah, we got to get behind that. We got to get behind that. You know, that's the sort of motivation that I want. Like, what?
Sorry, I didn't see this.
You didn't see the clips of him? He's like, 5-year vision. Yeah, Pudgy Penguin is going to be, have the IP bigger than Hello Kitty. We're going to have $5 billion in revenue. It's some like crazy thing. He's like, I'm going to be on the Mount Rushmore of crypto. Pudgy Penguins are going to be bigger than CryptoPunks. And it was just like this list of stuff, and he's just sitting there on the couch, just kind of, or on a bag.
Clemente talking about the Mount Rushmore of crypto in September of last year. Popped up trying to find this.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't see this. I'll have to
Just look up Luca Netz. What was your search there?
I looked up Luca Rushmore. I looked up Luca Netz Rushmore. Like Rushmore is not showing up.
No, just look up Luca Netz interview.
Luca Netz, and then go through the whole interview to figure out where he talks about Mount Rushmore.
My my goal in life is to have a smaller penis than Jeff Bezos.
Oh man.
Kicks is like, peace out.
First one to
real,
clip
like,
that.
what are we
First one to
talking about here?
clip that, and tag me is going to get 0.1 Solana from Echo.
they need to get the bit where Kicks just exits left.
Yeah, and Kicks leaves as we talk about that. On
that note, Ray, I think we need to wrap.
Yeah, thank you all for joining us today for another excellent episode of the podcast on this wonderful Wednesday. You can catch us on all major podcasting platforms, Spotify, Apple. Watch us back on YouTube. See what we're talking about in real time. We do the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful Wednesday.